Imagine the US government owning a piece of ChatGPT, not regulating it, not taxing it, actually owning it. That scenario is now on the table, and the negotiations happening right now will shape who controls the most powerful AI on Earth. According to insiders cited by Ars Technica, Sam Altman is in active talks with the Trump administration about offering the United States government a 5% equity stake in OpenAI as part of its ongoing restructuring into a for-profit company. 5% sounds small, but OpenAI is currently valued at around $300 billion. That slice would be worth roughly $15 billion, more than the GDP of some nations. To understand why this is happening, you need to know where OpenAI came from. It started as a nonprofit in 2015, built on the premise that artificial general intelligence should benefit all of humanity, not shareholders. But building the world's most capable AI models costs tens of billions of dollars. So OpenAI created a capped profit structure to attract investors, and now it wants to go further, converting to a full, for-profit public benefit corporation. That conversion has triggered legal challenges, public backlash, and scrutiny from state attorneys general in California and Delaware who want to make sure the public interest isn't just being quietly cashed out. Enter the Trump administration. By taking an equity stake, the federal government would effectively bless the restructuring, giving OpenAI political cover to complete the deal while signaling that Washington sees AI dominance as a national priority. But not everyone thinks 5% is anywhere near enough. The office of Senator Bernie Sanders has reportedly floated figures far higher, arguing that if the public's money and research helped build AI, the public deserves a meaningful share of the returns. This tension cuts to the heart of a question that will define the AI era. Who actually owns the future? OpenAI was built on publicly funded research, open-source tools, and data scraped from the entire internet. Content created by millions of people who will see none of the upside. On the other side of this deal is a White House that has been pulling back AI safety regulations, revoking Biden-era executive orders, and positioning the US to win an AI race against China, even if that means moving fast and skipping guardrails. For Sam Altman, a government stake is a masterstroke of political strategy. It turns potential adversaries into financial partners. If the government owns a slice of OpenAI, it has every incentive to protect OpenAI from regulation, from competition, and from breakup. Think about what that means for competitors. Google DeepMind, Anthropic, Meta AI, none of them would have the same political backstop. A government-backed OpenAI would have an asymmetric advantage that no amount of engineering talent can match. There are also serious questions about what a government stake actually entitles the US to. Does it get board seats, voting rights, access to model weights, or is it purely financial? A check written with no strings attached and no real oversight. History gives us reason to be skeptical of the purely financial version. When governments take minority stakes without governance rights, they tend to get the downside of political association, with none of the upside of actual control. Meanwhile, workers, artists, journalists, and developers whose livelihoods are being reshaped by OpenAI's products aren't at the table at all. The negotiation is between a tech billionaire and a presidential administration, two parties who both benefit from the deal closing. Internationally, this deal is being watched very closely. Europe is already struggling to build AI champions that can compete with American labs. A formal government-industry partnership in the US would accelerate the gap and could push other nations to do the same with their own AI companies. We may be watching the birth of a new kind of entity, the state-affiliated AI superlab. Not quite a government agency, not quite a private company, something in between with the resources of Silicon Valley and the political protection of a nation-state. So, what happens next? The most likely outcome is that a deal gets done, at some percentage with vague governance language that lets both sides claim a win. OpenAI completes its conversion. The government gets a check it can point to, and the harder questions get deferred. The harder questions being, who do these systems serve? What happens when a government-backed AI company's interests conflict with civil liberties, with workers with the truth? What recourse does anyone have when the referee owns a stake in the game? Here is what you should take away from this. The percentage doesn't matter as much as the precedent. A 5% stake is the opening move in a much longer negotiation about whether AI will be governed in the public interest, or whether public interest just becomes the marketing copy for a very profitable private arrangement. The companies building AI are getting smarter about politics. The question is whether our politics will get smarter about AI. If you want to keep track of that race, stick with overfitted, because the stakes are only going up from here.